Hello everyone! Today we are on the sunny balcony. For those of you who are new to my channel, this is my in-laws balcony and it's south-facing, hence why I'm hiding behind this bush because the sun is really bright in here. I recorded a couple of videos on this balcony already. You can find them all on the sunny balcony playlist. You will find there a lot of compositions, seasonal compositions for summer, for autumn, and stuff like that. But today we are here to do some February container garden maintenance, because February is a great month to slowly start to go out in your garden again and to do some little gardening jobs like pruning, repotting and stuff like that. So this is exactly what we are gonna do today on this balcony. So let's begin. Okay, before we begin, let me just give you a quick look on the balcony. So we have some privacy wall here made of photinias. We will have to address those two shrubs today as well. Seasonal compositions that I created in the fall, and then this little corner with some perennial plants and with rose and clematis that we are gonna prune right now. Okay, the first thing that you can do in your February container garden is you can start pruning your roses. This is the perfect time of the year to do it. I know that rose pruning can be a little bit overwhelming because different types of roses require slightly different pruning methods, but pruning is the best thing that you can do to your rose to improve its overall health and productivity. Unpruned rose will be really prone to pests and diseases such as powdery mildew or black spot. So even if you don't feel particularly confident about pruning your rose, do it anyway, even if you don't do it exactly by the books, because it's still better to prune it a little bit than to not prune it at all. So today we are going to be pruning this repeat flowering shrub rose, so I'm going to share with you a couple of really general tips that you can apply to pretty much any bush or shrub type rose. The most important thing when growing roses obviously is to provide a lot of light, but also to provide a really good airflow around the base of the plant. So the first thing that you will do when pruning roses, you want to make sure that the center is not crowded. Here you can see this is the perfect shape. It's kind of like a vase shape. All the stems are growing outwards. There is nothing crowding the center, no stems that are shooting directly straight from the center of the plant. So if your rose is crowded in the center, you want to cut out all of those stems that are crowding it. Secondly, you want to cut out all of those very thin, very leggy stems. These will not produce any flowers, so you want to cut them back and you want to only keep stems that are at least pencil thick. If there are any branches shooting towards the center of the plant, like this one here, you also want to cut them back because, again, we want to create a vase shape. You want to have a nice and open center of your rose. You don't want any branches to be growing towards the center and crowding the plant. If there are any leaves remaining on your rose from the previous year, cut them all back. Okay, and now one last thing left to do is to shorten this rose a little bit. This is a repeat flowering shrub rose, so we can cut it back even to about a half, but because I want to keep this plant slightly taller, I'm only gonna cut it back by about 1/3. So at the end your rose will obviously look pretty bare, but that's good. That's what you want to do. You want to cut out all of those thin and unproductive branches and only leave a nice and strong framework. Next plant that we are going to prune today is a clematis. Clematises are great climbers for balcony gardens, but there are 3 groups of clematis and each group requires slightly different pruning methods again. But basically, if you have a group 1 clematis, those that bloom in the spring, do not prune them at this time of year. Prune only group 2 and 3 clematis, so those that are either summer or late summer, early fall blooming clematises. This is a group 3 clematis, so this has to be pruned really hard in the spring because they bloom on new wood. So if you leave them unpruned, they're gonna grow very long stems and they're only gonna bloom on top of those long stems. So you are gonna have a really bare base and only flowers at the top. This clematis is still very young. I planted it just last fall, and as you can see here, we can see the new fresh buds starting to open. So you want to prune just above a set of healthy looking buds. And there's also a lot of dead wood that I need to cut out. You see all of those branches, they are dead and unproductive. So we are going to leave a couple of main stems that are sure to produce healthy buds. So I left 3 healthy, strong stems, and now I'm gonna tie them to this support because last fall it got really floppy because they didn't tie it in. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. Next thing that you can do in your February garden is check which plants unfortunately didn't make it through the winter. Maybe you had some seasonal planters, some fall compositions, like for example here on the railings I created a lovely colorful fall composition, and in that composition I used some evergreen perennial plants that made it beautifully through the winter. As you can see, the Carex grasses, Molenbeekia and Heucheras are looking perfectly fine, but I also used a couple of seasonal plants that were not frost hardy, so now I'm gonna replace those dead plants with something beautiful that will bloom in the spring. And I brought forget-me-nots with me. I grow forget-me-nots from seeds on my own balcony, and I always grow a little bit more because I know I'm gonna share with friends and family. So I have some beautiful pink forget-me-nots that are gonna bloom in the spring. Okay, and the last thing that we are gonna do today on this balcony, we are gonna root prune these 2 container grown trees. I recently posted a video all about root pruning, so you can check it out for any additional informations. But February is a great moment to root prune your container grown trees. You're not gonna do it every year, but it's a good idea to check the root system of your potted trees every 2 or every 3 years. Refresh the soil, cut back the roots if needed. So this is exactly what we are gonna do with these 2 photinias. As you can see, the roots are coming out of the drainage hole, so this tree is definitely pot bound, even though it has this pretty large container. Goodness. Okay, both of the trees are root pruned. Now there's this huge mess to clean, and I feel like I have soil even up my nostrils. Okay, you guys, the balcony is nice and clean. I had a really great time here today. Now I should probably go and do the same on my own balcony. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see each other in the next one. Bye!